As an XRP holder, one of the biggest questions I think that we all kind of ask ourselves is, how does that XRP price get to such a crazy number? How do people come up with these crazy XRP price predictions? Well, in this video, I want to kind of discuss a little bit of why those numbers come about. And also, we're going to look into just a very fractional amount of net flow that we're going to be talking about with XRP and kind of what we all know that's going on, because I do think it's relevant to today's discussion. We will look at the price of XRP in itself a little bit into this video as well and get you guys on your way and into the next video. All right, so welcome back. For those of you that are new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. And let's get down into the discussion here as we look at the XRP market cap. And we saw a 647x from just $17 million in net flow. All right, so this article came out from Crypto Basic. I want to kind of get into the thought process behind this and what actually is going on. And this is kind of as we look at XRP recovering from last week's dip. There was a very small inflow that pushed the XRP price back up. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into. I want to share with you guys kind of why we saw the price jump and kind of notably what this would mean if we would hit a bigger number. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. For those of you that are new to the channel, though, like I said, make sure you all subscribe. If you're following along on X, do so as well. And also check out our friends at BTCC. If you guys want to start trading crypto on that exchange, spot and leverage trading available. With my link, you will get 10% bonus on your first deposit. Also 40% lower trading fees. So if you're a leverage trader, spot trader out there in the marketplace, check it out. There is no KYC, no VPN, but make sure it's right for you and where you're located. Understand their terms and conditions after you run it through your due diligence. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into this discussion. And before we get moving, this is where we're going to find ourselves looking at the market. And as you see, this is a strong green day. All right, there's a little bit of a political concern going on in the state of California that has kind of tepid a little bit within kind of what we've seen. And it is kind of funny how we were talking about Trump and Elon Musk, and we saw how that took a toll. And next thing you know, here we are with another narrative, but the markets aren't really reacting. So I think that the traders are calling the bluffs, they're calling the short-term volatility, and they're ignoring it, which is good to see. So I do like that sentiment, okay? As we look at XRP, trading at $2.31, talked about it, right? Anytime XRP gets close to $2, we're loading up, right? So there was a couple instances where we were at 216. And even with that, guys, I don't swing trade XRP, but still, if we look at the trading view, and you can kind of see where we're at here, okay? These green candles have been very strong since basically this low point. As I said, we were forming a W. You could have bought XRP at $2.09. That's a very significant short-term swing here, okay? And that's basically where you look at the chart. That's a roughly about 12% in less than a week, okay? 4 days is all that took, okay? And as we look in kind of what we have going on in terms of my trading indicator, okay, still not flashing momentum up, so I wanted to give you guys some quick insight to that premium content, all right? As always, guys, remember, this is not financial advice, just my views and opinions and related to my holdings. Always be sure to do what's best for you financially, okay? But that's where we're looking at this article, and right now, we saw the dip, most attributed to the Elon Musk and Donald Trump pillow fight. We saw that decline within Tesla stock as well. But as we saw XRP trade at $2.23, kind of fully recovered from that dip, right? That short-term dip. The XRP community was tracking the inflows and that have preceded this rebound. Now, we had $18.6 million in net flow. Now, this is something worth in this metric as we bounced from $2.08 to $2.17 in just one day following an $18.6 million inflow. Net inflow, I should say. That moved, added $10 billion to its full market cap. Okay, so that's where we look into the inflow to market cap multiplier. It's 538x. Okay, so for every $1 of net inflow, increased XRP's market cap by about $538. Okay, so you know, for those of you that don't follow Zach Rector, a very outspoken XRP influencer, commentator, we do look to him. I do get some of my analysis. I enjoy kind of his content as well. Make sure you give him a follow on X. If you also don't follow me on X, you can find my handle in the description as well as the bottom left of your screen at tcryptomark. Okay. But he goes on talking about how the figures show that it takes very little inflow to push the price of XRP significantly higher. Okay, adding that the market participants might regret not buying XRP at $2 if price surges become consistent due to further inflows. All right, and what this is going to do as we look at for a follow-up from June 8th. Okay, that's where we saw XRP soar from 217 to 228 on just $17 million in inflow. All right, so that's roughly an $11 billion increase in XRP's market cap based on the fully 100 billion supply from June 7th. Now that would put that multiplier at 647x, meaning that for every dollar of net inflow, XRP's market cap increased by $647. Okay, so it's very much relative. But the point of talking about this is looking at kind of where we could see XRP based on this metric, okay? And if we want to kind of sum it all up here, based on this multiplier that we're looking at, an XRP price could potentially reach $8.64 if we were to see a $1 billion investment, okay? That's something where it wouldn't take much. I think that's very subjective in nature. We'll see if that actually can happen. But I do think that when we talk market caps in crypto, very, very argumentative. Okay, I don't actually think it's a great term to be throwing around within crypto because the value is very subjective. The value of a crypto is just worth what somebody is willing to bid for it. Okay, and that's kind of where I fall into the category when you see these crazy price predictions, right? When you see $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP. Tokenomics wise, it doesn't make sense, but it is the price based on what somebody is willing to pay for it. So if the price of XRP gets artificially inflated, that's when you can see some crazy numbers and conversations to be had. Okay. Furthermore, I will conclude talking about where we look at the ETFs to drive prices. If you guys watch my stuff, you know that I'm not too much of a bull on the ETFs. Yes, they cause a lot of inflows. Yes, it's great for people looking for exposure and getting into the market without actually having to essentially have a custodial wallet or a DeFi wallet. And that's kind of where you look into the offerings. And I think that's great for growing the user base, growing adoption, so on and so forth. But as we look at this, guys, you know, right now, I think XRP ETFs are the next step on this roadmap on our path. But I don't think that this is something that is going to take us further. But some speculate that even $4 billion in ETF related inflows could push XRP to $2 in terms of price. All right. And for me, guys, that really doesn't make sense because you could look, I wonder if it means that could push it up by $2 because we're already trading above $2. So quite frankly, I don't agree with this article. All right. But that's where we look into January 15th as being a prime example. Okay. So that's where we look at $207 million in positive net flow that allowed for the XRP price to climb up to $3.20 at that time. Okay, so that corresponded closely with the price increases, and I think that's something where as you look into kind of the recent months, having negative inflow or outflows that have dominated XRP's market, that's kind of where we could correlate that with having a relatively flat performance in terms of the price over the last 6 months. Okay, so to clarify, net flow figures referenced in this report, that's kind of where a lot of people are interested in that, but they primarily reflect deposits and withdrawals from exchanges. They don't reflect actual capital entering or exiting the XRP market, to clarify. Okay, true market inflows would require analyzing buy-side volume on exchange order books, as highlighted in a previous report. Even a $500 million withdrawal from Kraken had zero price impact. Okay, so exchange outflows alone don't confirm buying activity. All right, so like I said, this is a very subjective discussion, but I thought it was kind of relevant to talk about it because everybody's wondering what causes the price of XRP to go up. And in the grand scheme of things, if you do kind of follow this math and you do kind of align yourself with this, it's not going to take much in the grand scheme of it if we do look at something to be said about these ETFs and the inflows that could be coming of that nature. Okay, so appreciate you guys tuning in for a couple minutes. I do appreciate all my returning subscribers. If you have not done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. And we will see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.